Welcome to Chica Clips and Chaos. This video contains copyrighted material that may not have been authorized by its owner. We use it for purposes like commentary, criticism, news reporting, teaching, awareness, and research under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowing fair use for these purposes.
I hope y'all are having a blessed day. I hope y'all are spending it with people that you love and you enjoy being around.
Full of memories I wanna drown. I hear the demon in me saying thanks for what he sees. Move along, don't waste your time. Move along to a better life. Move along from here in the day. Move along to a better place.
It's amazing. It's amazing that there's men in this community. They care enough about the other men and women in this community to constantly and without fail stand up against the lies, the mistreatment, and the steady disrespect of those with different opinions. It's sad that we live in a day where there is a culture of silencing men strictly because they're a man. It's an odd idea to me that all men came from a woman. How do you hate something you make? How do you hate something you raise? Why is a victim only a victim if you say they're a victim? And why is someone a liar just because you say someone is a liar?
I'm tired of this manifesting case. Tired of fighting back the pain.
Who exactly are you fighting with? Is it your own reflection in the mirror, or the reflection you see in your computer screen? Is that who you really hate? It can't be a woman that loves her children enough that she'll fight the mean and the bullies online to protect the safety of her family. Who are you to tell someone if they feel safe or not? These are questions that honest to God, real thinking people ask themselves. One might say, you know, Truth, you're so dramatic. And I would respond with, don't dramatics meet dramatics? See, I've learned something on this internet, or at least in this sector of YouTube. No matter what I say, no matter how I say it, when played on 2 times speed, it will always sound angry. When played out of context with no supporting information, it will always sound aggressive. Imagine being scared of someone's voice. Imagine being scared of a man's voice that you've never met. Imagine sitting online and acting like you're in fear as you push and push and poke and poke. Imagine hating someone like Cletus. Imagine someone like Cletus who's always here as a reasonable, common sense thinking individual. Imagine trying to make him some sort of president. Imagine a man that took in a woman that had just dealt with one of the most atrocious things in her entire life with her child Imagine that man taking her in, protecting her, giving her safety, giving her daughter the area to breathe and to recover and to become the amazing human and adult she is today. Imagine taking that man and slamming his name all over the internet while protecting men that don't take care of their children, don't respect their woman, and don't bring the bread to the table. Imagine the world we live in today. Imagine screaming about how a man sounds or how the man's going to come across to other people. Imagine.
I've been drinking
Damn it,
all
we just went to the right
goddamn
song.
day and I don't.
Imagine trying to take his name and just stomp all over it. So I have to ask, what is a good man to you folks? I'm genuinely curious. What is your definition of a good man? What is your definition of a man that protects women and children? And out of curiosity, have you ever met anybody that was a nice guy while trying to protect or fight for other people? What kind of man do you expect to take the role of stepping up for men and women in 2026? What does that man look like? Please inform me what that man looks like. I am completely aware that every time I come on here to talk about my side of things, it gets twisted and turned and flipped and narrated by 20 other people. See, I think that's part of the plan, that every time I come on to talk, then they just beat the shit out of everything that I say to try to lessen the importance of anything that I have to say. And that's perfectly fine. But what you will never do is silence my voice. Ever. You won't put me in a corner, so to speak. I don't need to go rustle up a bunch of creators to come talk to me about my issues with other people. I don't need to get hate mobs together and do excessively long lives in order to rile people up. I don't have to lie on people. A lot of people want to call me a liar, but nobody wants to show the proof of it. How you interpret what I say is not my responsibility. I'm only responsible for what I say. Now, I said this yesterday over on Kick, and I'll say it over here because I think when you make mistakes, you must admit to those mistakes, learn from them, and keep going. It's a lesson that I think some people need to learn a little bit more of. See, I jumped up on Trisha's panel without hearing everything that was said in that live. That was my mistake. And because I jumped on Trisha's panel as the rest of it was being played, I assume I was in the back chat area or getting into the back chat and didn't hear it. I was so tired of the lies being said on my name. And it just didn't register with me why in the hell that conversation would ever need to come up in anything that was talked about with any of this. And the only thing I could surmise was that it was done to somehow put a little bug out there for people's ears. I thought it was distasteful. I thought it was disrespectful. I thought in a community where y'all say you take up for victims, that people wouldn't stand for that type of conversation for any reason whatsoever, nor would they entertain that conversation, nor would other creators pick it up and go along with the idea that truth is lying when you have no idea what you're talking about. But see, what you hope to do is put me in a position where I have to come out here and correct you and say things about something I don't want to talk about, and that's what's not going to happen. But it's really weird to me why it even needed to be brought up. And then all the digging that's been done since y'all don't do digging, right? I got another question, because, I'm a little stupid, apparently. Now, what I keep hearing is this person and truth and this person doing all this shit behind the scenes. Okay, that's the key word, behind the scenes. Now, let me try to understand what behind the scenes is. Because my understanding of behind the scenes is anything that's not in a chat or in a comment section on a video. That would be behind the scenes. So if a text message would be considered behind the scenes, and a phone call would be considered behind the scenes, then Discord would be considered behind the scenes. And if Discord is considered behind the scenes, then having specific rooms targeting specific people, subs or creators, would in fact be doing fuck shit behind the scenes. Yet in the process of these amazing, honest, searching for the answers creators, they have in fact showed us that in Discords, they have specific rooms for specific people, but they're searching for who's doing the fuck shit behind the scenes. That seems odd. And you're accusing someone of doing fuck shit behind the scenes who doesn't have an open Discord, doesn't have a Discord for anybody in the public, doesn't do emails, doesn't give his number out to anybody, or rarely. But the ones that are sitting over there showing you that they have filing cabinets, that's not behind the scenes. But here's the reality of it. I didn't come over here really to talk about all of that. Nope. I came over here to remind everybody on YouTube two things. Number one, no matter what position you sit on and no matter where you stand on things, you fucking matter. You're important. And without you here, the world would be totally different. Even if I don't like you and you don't like me, just know your life matters. And in your family and in your circle, their lives would be ever so different. I could sit up here and spend my time smashing and slamming the hell out of people and you're a bitch and you're a horse-faced hoe and all these things. Or I can just tell you that I overreacted a little bit. I let my frustration of the consistent lies get under my skin a little bit. And I jumped the gun up on a panel a little too soon. I take responsibility for that. I'll learn from that, just like I have learned from every other mistake I've made with social media, because that's what real humans do. You make mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and you move the fuck on. And secondly, I wanted to remind you that Cluminati is an asshole, and she absolutely is a bitch. And she is vile. She is very vile. She's also pregnant with triplets. Had to drop that on you. A lot of information, I know. Or I could simply say, if you're tired of people gaslighting your head, if you're tired of watching men in her chat bully women while they sit up on their panel and talk about men who bully women, if you're tired of having the wool pulled over your eyes and led in the dark, so to speak, you should probably go check her out. And while we're talking about checking people out, you know, they've said a lot about Trisha Talks lately. They've said a lot about Trisha Talks, a lot of vile, just nasty, disrespectful things about Trisha Talks. You mean probably one of the nicest women on this app? Well, I won't say this app because I'm not over here much, but over on Kick. You mean the woman that reads people's futures or palms or cards or whatever the fuck she does with her weird abilities? You talking about that lady? Oh, cool. Yeah, real horrible lady. You can find her on Kick too at Trisha Talks. I guess what I'm saying is I may not be your cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay. But Clue might be. Cletus might be. Queen might be. Trisha might be. I could give a damn less if you like me. I'm losing no sleep over it. I'm not doing 12-hour lives about anybody. I'm not flipping out and researching anybody. I'm not diving into anybody. I'm not sending my moderators to go find and quest and record things. Who the fuck has time for that? What we are doing is building an incredible community, a very close-knit community. And although we absolutely hear some of the things that have been said over here, most of it sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher, because we're too busy doing what we do. I've got the greatest group of motherfuckers I could pray for. I've got one of the closest online friends that someone could ask for. I've got a creator that will answer the phone and give me advice at any fucking time. You got a creator like Queen Bee, who has been nothing but clear about wanting to be kept out of everything. Yet, if I had a question or if I needed guidance or if I needed an opinion and I messaged her, she would at least give me her opinion. She wouldn't attack me, never has. That's a decent person. Those are decent people. Not because they like me, because they may not, but because they understand that everybody is different. Everybody responds to things different. Everybody processes things differently. And everybody comes from different walks of life with different types of experiences. And my experiences in my life in no way compare to yours or vice versa. You don't like me? Cool. You think I'm a liar? Cool. You think I'm vile and dangerous? Cool. What you think about me is not of my concern. Is it fun to hear or read the things that some of y'all say? No, it ain't fun to see or read. Come on now. I'm not Illuminati. I ain't got bulletproof skin. I'm still a human. You know what I find so cute about all of this, though? That's what I find all cute about this. See, this type of shit is expected out of Jay for Justice. I mean, when you're a snake that's spotted like a cow, you're a snake that's spotted like a cow. There's nothing you can do about that. And as far as nonsense goes, I'm completely surprised because I thought Nonsense was genuinely a decent person. But you know what kind of made me laugh today before I came on live? I happened to wander on over to that terrible, horrible misinformation giving, English Trisha Talks. And you know how that bitch is. She's just a liar, right? She's just a horrible, horrible liar. Okay. And she was playing, funny enough, BJ. You know, BJ had the audacity once again to put my name all up in her mouth. Now, BJ, I thought your poor, bullied, innocent, just had a baby ass would know better. I'm sorry, Chroma Chronicles, you're right. I was on your panel, not Trisha's, but Trisha was up there. My apologies. You are correct. Thank you for the super chat. Not you talking on SA. Not the woman that flipped out and cried for 3 fucking weeks when your story was talked about because it was inconsistent. No, not you. Not you calling someone a liar and that it didn't happen. Now, you wouldn't do that, would you, little beach bitch? And while we're talking about beach bitch, ladies of over there, you do understand that, like, when you say bitch boy or little man, that we just laugh, right? Like, it's like when a 4-foot tall woman looks up at a 7-foot tall man and is like, I'm gonna beat your ass. You're just like, oh, that's cute. I don't know. I just think it's funny that you want to enter into the little ordeal when you're begging for everyone to leave you alone. But you want to participate in it back at me. But I thought, didn't you say you only spoke on me when I spoke on you, BJ? Although we really know it's the other way around, but y'all whitewashed that story so fucking much. I mean, then again, folks, let's don't forget that for a year, Jay for Justice ran Binjo or Binjo or Binjo or Bijo or whatever the fuck game it was, where she talked about how BJ was a liar and lied about her essay and lied about this and lied about that and talked about her DV. Like it was nothing but jingo every fucking night. I mean, hell, she was talking about how your old man was violent and needed to be in jail. And let's take a little tiptoe walk over to Nonsense. Now, Nonsense rode your ass like an 8-second carnival ride. I mean, said some really fucked up shit, way worse than I ever said. Way the fuck worse than anything I ever said. But somehow y'all are just tag team back again. But we're the weird ones. We're on another app minding our business. And all of you ladies, menopausal, whatever the case may be, are so worried. Y'all had none of these balls to go after Clue when she was on this app, you little weak bitches. Matter of fact, y'all befriended her because you were so scared of her. You fucking befriended her. You rode with her. But as Cletus and Clue showed in the text messages, when you tried to send her some, wait for it, ready? Some fuck shit behind the scenes, when you tried to send her some fuck shit behind the scenes, when you, nonsense, texted Clue fuck shit behind the scenes, once again, you, nonsense, texted Clue fuck shit behind the scenes. Hold on, I want to be like Jay for Justice for a second. You, nonsense, texted Clue fuck shit behind the scenes. You, nonsense, texted Clue fuck shit behind the scenes. And some of y'all might be saying, why does he keep repeating himself? I don't know. Apparently that's how you take up 45 minutes of dead time on your live, is to continue to repeat someone's words over and over and over and over again. I thought it was the new way to do YouTube. And to be clear, just to be clear, because I'm sorry, I'm choking on my fake weed. But just to be clear, nonsense tried to text Clue fuck shit behind the scenes. And what did Clue say back to you? Nonsense on the web? What was it? What was Clue's response to you? I bet we can say it all together now. I don't do behind the scenes fuck shit. Isn't that right, nonsense? Wasn't it almost word for word? Not interested. I don't do behind the scenes shit. Now, if you weren't doing behind the scenes shit, Miss Nonsense, why would Clue feel the need to shut it down by telling you she doesn't do behind the scenes bullshit? You know what you don't find anywhere, and what Nonsense hasn't showed on any of her 10 to 15 hour lives? A receipt of elevated truth sending anyone fuck shit. Not one. Not one. So who in fact is behind the scenes doing fuck shit? I don't know. But I can tell you it's real hard to do fuck shit when you're yourself doing anywhere between 10 and, like yesterday, 17 hours worth of live streaming in one day. And you know what it wasn't about 80% of the time? Anything to do with any of y'all. Crazy, right? And before you started putting my name into everything, I never spoke of you, Nonsense. Never. Unless it was to send my people to you or to say something nice to you. But I'm evil. And for the record, Jay for Justice. And this is for any of the clip channels that want to take what I'm about to say and then put the clip next to it. Okay? All right? Here you go. When I said, I want to make sure I say this right. When I said Nonsense got online and said that she enjoyed making men cry, and that's what her goal was for the day, how she texted Kyle and told him she's about to make 2 grown men blow their lid. But y'all wonder why someone like me would make the comment that someone like her would ever try to push somebody to make an ultimate decision. Y'all just can't connect it, can you? Because it's too triggering for some of you soft people. Because it's me saying it and not somebody else saying it. But when you get on social media and you talk about a text conversation that you had with your man about how you were going to push 2 men to lose their shit and how you were going to laugh about it and enjoy it, that implies that you want to push them over the edge. And you, ma'am, don't know what someone's edge is. So you said it, your words. And then your little friend Jay for Justice called me a liar for calling it out and said you never said it. And you know who else said you never said it? BJ. Now explain to me how this is happening if people aren't working together. Same line, same verse, same script. Some might say, Truth, you overreacted. Possibly. I take responsibility for that. It's possible. Some people might say, Truth, you're trying to trigger people. Hold on now. Me bringing up the possibility of a response to someone's unnecessary pushing and prodding to make a man lose it, that me bringing that up is too much and triggering? But the person actually doing the pushing, the poking, the prodding, and verbally saying she's trying to push guys to lose their shit, that's not the problem? Okay. All right, cool. You want me to somehow believe, after everything I'm seeing, that it was BJ that had anything to do with Clue losing her channel? I don't. I can't stand BJ. But when I started seeing and putting things together and realizing how many people Clue had in her chat, how many people she brought over to a new app, how many people I brought over to a new app, when I started realizing how many people weren't in other people's chats because they were in Clue's, when I started putting the math together that people were playing hopscotch around Clue's lives, and I realized it wasn't BJ that was losing money because of Clue, it was Clue's friends. Friends. I'll stand on an island by myself. You can all come and destroy me. I'm still going to speak the truth as I see it. See, y'all befriended her. You became close to her. Y'all were on phone calls, even to the point nonsense that Cluminati, before y'all fell out, made a comment that shocked me because I talked to Clue a lot. Clue goes, I talk to nonsense more than I talk to anybody. And someone in the chat said, more than truth? And she said, yep. And I thought to myself, well, goddamn. Maybe that's the fuck shit. Maybe that's the fuck shit. I thought to myself, I said, maybe that's the fuck shit. Maybe Clue and nonsense are working together on some fuck shit. And it took me back. I thought to myself, no, Clue wouldn't fucking do that. What the fuck? But then I start thinking, well, maybe she would. Maybe I can't trust her. Maybe it's the ultimate reverse Uno. You know? I mean, they did say she tried to dox me, her and Cletus, and well, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. Maybe they got in the back chat because she wasn't talking to me as much, you know? And she was talking to nonsense all the time. And then all of a sudden nonsense comes at me. And I shared with my chat last night that I had called Cletus and Clue about the issue. And they had told me, Truth, this is between you and her. We're not getting in this. And I said, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. And they said, Truth, this is between you and her. We're not getting in this. Matter of fact, word for word, what they said is, we're like Queen. We ain't getting involved in it. Y'all deal with that. I'm like, damn. So I sit back and I start watching. I'm like, fuck, something's got to give. And then this wild bad guy drops text messages. Well, actually, Clue dropped him on her live first. And I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second. Clue didn't fall for the fuck shit. Clue said, I don't do the behind the scenes shit. Clue called it out in text. And I thought to myself, well, goddamn, that's what it was the whole time. They were trying to groom Clue. Because if they could turn Clue against me, they could get rid of me, and then they could turn on Clue and get rid of Clue. And then what happened? Well, nonsense couldn't wait long enough. Nonsense got too impatient. Nonsense got too impatient. Had nonsense just waited 3 or 4 more days, she could have isolated me out. But she didn't. Now, this is all retrospectively looking at it. I didn't see it like this at the time. So y'all were mad that Clue shut you down. And then all of a sudden, your phone goes out. Just gone. Takes you 7 to 14 business days to get a new phone. And then all of a sudden, you come out swinging. Just wild swinging. And what you did is you got the attention of everybody who hates Clue and everybody who hates me. And all of a sudden, now you had an audience again. Isn't that right, nonsense? All of a sudden, you had an audience again, because I promise you, if tomorrow you do a live on anything other than Clue, Cletus, or myself, you won't have 75% of the people in there you do when you talk about us. We're just going to completely ignore that nonsense got so comfortable with the disrespect towards myself and Center She got so comfortable with the people that she was around that she told on herself. She told on herself. This whole time she's been portraying to you guys that she's trying to figure out what's going on in the back chat, what's going on behind the scenes. That's been her reason for this fight. That's been her reason for all of this. But then she tells you, in her own words, that she had to text her old man to tell him that she was going to make two men cry today. She was going to enjoy it. I think there were a couple of fuck boys and bitch boys in there that really gave her those ovary power, you know? Imagine if I came onto the live today. I want you to imagine this for a second. If Cletus and if I invited Cletus on my panel today, I said, hey, Cletus, come on up here. Let's hang out, you know? Maybe I invited Trip. Maybe I invite SS. I don't know. I'm just thinking of some guys in the community. Maybe I invite Aries, you know? And the first thing I do is I go, hey, I just got off the phone with my old lady. I just let her know we about to slut shame some bitches up here today. We about to make some bitches cry. We about to slut shame the hell out of them. How long would it be before every motherfucking creator sparked up a live? But it's okay if women do it. Right? Y'all think you're doing something. Here's my question. Nonsense. You said you're getting your information from your audience, from your supporters. And you want everybody to believe what they are saying. But they don't have a name. I bet you won't put a name on it. Which is surprising to me, because if it's the truth, wouldn't you put a name on it? If those people stood on the information they gave you as honest, true, and real information, wouldn't they stand on it? And let me ask you something else, Nonsense. What's your issue with a strong, independent woman that don't need no goddamn man to take care of her and takes care of her daughter and her daughter's twins? What you got against a woman like that? Just wondering. Is it the fact that she's doing well in life as a single mother who raised her children successfully in a not so normal profession? Is it because she was strong enough to make it through years of that lifestyle and not becoming a statistic to it? Do you hate the fact that she's able to give time to my community while still taking care of brand newborn babies? What part of her as a woman that you know makes her a horrible this and a piece of shit that? What is it about her that you know that gives you the right to talk about her as a person? Shut up, white boy. Good to see you, brother. I'm just wondering. What throne do you sit on that you think you have the right to yell at subs because they're correcting your misinformation? And why do you think that yelling and cursing them out and calling them the names you called them, or allowing people in your chat to do it, is somehow being investigative to get to the bottom of things? Just a question. What part of investigation does it include disrespecting, calling them out of their name, talking down to them like somehow your IQ tops 2? Why is it nonsense that you have absolutely no respect for Queen whatsoever? And neither does your little sidekick, Dr. Evil. No respect. The lady asked you to leave her the fuck out of it. The lady asked you not to bring it to her platform. The lady asked you to let her be, as she says, in Switzerland. Yet you're in her chat talking about shit that ain't true, running these stories in her chat, talking all this shit up. You got your right-hand man, fucking Dr. Evil, sending her fucking clips of me. Why? Can you not fight your own battles? You and Jay for Justice, not the Catwoman and Cockwoman-ish? Y'all can't do it on your own? You got to try to push someone into the corner to be a part of something when they've clearly told you to leave them the fuck alone about it? But somehow you want us to think that you respect your friendships, but you didn't respect Granny's friendship. Last night, Jay for Justice talked so dirty about about Queen, and Queen's still staying out of it because she ain't gonna fall for the fucking tricks like I did. And I think it's funny that y'all always have something to say about me speaking on my autism when you don't have a right to say a goddamn thing to me about my autism. Jay for Justice said last night that the way I was acting is not how autistic people act. My behavior was not the behavior of an autistic person. And do you know, and BJ was reviewing this. Now, BJ claims to be a mother of an autistic child. And you know what this wonderful mother of the year said? That's right, they don't. That's right, they don't. She's right. I didn't have to listen very much to realize that. Let me ask y'all this. Is there a such thing as coincidences? Is there a such thing as coincidences by chance? No? Okay. So what's the chances that two women on the same app, one hates a guy who's never done any type of interaction with her whatsoever, never given her the time of day, and he has autism, right? And she hate a woman that she's never met, she's never had no interaction with, and that woman happens to have part of her social media dealing with autism. And then imagine those two people speaking about autism. So let me ask this question, Jay for Justice. What exactly does an autistic person look like? What exactly does an autistic person act like? And what exactly is it that you can verbally see? Yes, I know what I said. Where you can determine whether someone is or is not autistic. What degree do you have? What education in autism do you have? What medical degree do you have? Or better yet, what personal experience do you have? I would love you to expand on what autistic people act like. I find it interesting we're using the word act. Unlike some people, we're just different because we were born different, not because we choose to be fucking different. I also find it incredibly interesting that these same women, now we're going to call them the three Muska fucking tears, BJ Nonsense and Jay for Justice. I find it interesting, right? 2 out of the 3 who say I'm a bad guy protect the men that whoop their asses. I also think it's funny that you same motherfuckers think you have the right to tell me you can't bring that up. Oh, no? Oh, well, you better talk to your friend because she had no problem bringing up someone else's trauma and throwing it into the middle of this shit just for shits and giggles to confuse people and cause, uprising. You really should not be throwing fucking stones when you live in a glass fucking house yourself. Y'all can talk about my essay. You can have a bitch sit on her panel and say it never happened and I lied about it. You can have another one fucking literally make graphic details of me clean myself off, blah, 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 blah. And y'all will fucking not crack a lie for shit. But if elevated truth calls you a horse-faced hoe, everybody needs to apologize to you, bow down to you, kiss your wee little feet. Get the absolute fuck out of here. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to do something real quick. Need to take care of something. My apologies. Let me pull this up. Sometimes things come up and I just gotta deal with it real quick. Hold on. That's not it. I hate this. I'm just not good at this. You know what I mean? I'm not good at this whole being a streamer thing. Maybe I should just hang it up. Maybe y'all are right. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't I don't know yet. Maybe I need to give it some thought. I don't know. What do y'all think? I wanted to go ahead and paste in the comment section Trisha Talks kick so that y'all could go listen to her. Because listen, if she's so terrible, y'all should go find out for yourself, right? Like you should at least go in there, sit down, hear how terrible she is. So that at least you can report back and tell everybody how terrible she is. So, all right, this is what I've decided. All right. Now, if you heard me talk about this last night, guys, I'm going to need y'all not to make any comments, okay? Because I think the rest of the people need to get the full picture. Okay, if you know, you know. But what we talked about last night is absolutely in effect. Okay. You know, I've been debating on what I should do. By the way, my Cash Apps are at the bottom of the screen scrolling. If you want to use them, feel free. I learned that from BJ. So thank you for the teaching. Nonetheless, nevertheless, you know, I've really been trying to figure out how I can combat all of this constant, he's talking to her that way, you know? And I thought about it and I thought, man, I wish I could just talk to them the same way they talk to me. And they wouldn't use this he has a penis thing against me. I debated it. I thought about it. I called my pastor, discussed it with her. Then I went and saw Father Joe. I talked it over with Father Joe. Father Joe didn't approve, at least the Catholic Church didn't approve. But Catholic Joe, or Father Joe, told me to be happy online. So in the process of things, I had a light bulb that went off. And I said, self. And myself said, yes. And I said, self. And myself said, yes. And I said, hey, yo, self. And myself was like, motherfucker, if you don't say what you got to, okay, you get the point, right? He got frustrated. And I said, now, it seems like everyone has an online character, but I'm just myself online. I don't have a character, I'm just me. And myself was like, okay, that's tracking. I said, I'm sure there's other people that are them, but for the most part, it's a character people play. And myself was like, yeah, I get that. That tracks. And I said, self, let me ask you a question. Self looked at me and was like, we just went through this. I get it. And I said, so if it's a character online, then I have choices. And myself was like, truth, you have choices in everything in life. What are you talking about? I said, I know, self. I know. But what I'm saying is, if I was a character, then I wasn't me. And myself was like, don't truth, don't do it. And I'm like, but self, listen to me, hear me out. And himself was like, don't do it. These people are weak. They're going to get mad. And I was like, self, these people get pissed off at Frosted Flakes in the morning. You know what I mean? They saw a picture of a Jesus and got angry. Really, it was just Trip who had his hair down. Looks more like Jesus than the Caucasian blonde-eyed, blue-eyed, Jesus that we know. Weird. Anyway, that was a complete side note. Self was like, nah, see, this is my point. You see how you just went all off the edge there? You almost raged out. And I was like, self, calm down. It was just a side street. Nonetheless, none the more. I said, self, what if I wanted to, self was like, don't you say it, truth. Don't do it. And I was like, but I could. It's 2026. I have the choice. And I literally looked over at self and he was just, so fuck it. He lowered his head. So here we go. I mean, I feel like it is about time for self to understand that elevated truth online is transitioning. This is me coming out as elevated truth online to tell you that I now prefer and demand that I be identified as she, her, or he, her. This is not up for discussion. If you have a problem with my transitioning online, that is direct and obvious bigotry, and it will not be stood for. And people will show their true colors if they do not respect my pronouns of she, her, or he, her. And because some people might ask themselves, truth, what's the he, her? That's fucking confusing. No, it's not. Don't be disrespectful. Okay? Ask questions. Don't judge. Now, here's the he, her. When I say the shit you don't like, when I say the shit that you think is vile and over the edge, and all the above, that's the he. He did that.